Yo, Pokey26 here, and today I wanted to show off a red camp pole and creep with the use of an Ancient War and 2 to 3 Shadow Melded Archers. This pole can technically be done at daytime as well, but it's much riskier. You need to make sure the creep is always attacking the Ancient War, not your hero, and you need probably like 4 Repair Wisps, which is just not actually good. It would creep it quicker because you have your hero attacking too, but it's, like I said, I think it's more difficult to pull off, first of all, and it's just, in my opinion, not as good. This can be done on both sides. I think the right side is better for it, maybe even easier as well, but it can technically be done, like I said, on both sides.
Your building is complete.
This is a
Your building is
sort of creep I've seen done before on like Concealed Hill, or like, I don't know if actually I don't even know if I've seen it before. I've done it before myself on Concealed Hill, but maybe I've seen it as well. But like we know the concepts, but I have not actually seen people use this on Last Refuge, even though it is very viable. So yeah. My recommendation for this, if you are doing this, is these would probably, whichever side you're on, whichever side you decide to do the creep, you would probably only do one side, and it would also probably be your second Ancient War rather than your first, because you're gonna have to wait till night anyways and 2 archers, so you might as well, you know, do a normal creep first and then have your second Ancient War later, that they can do this pull and execute the pull while your hero is potentially harassing an expansion or just mana burning the enemy hero or whatever. Likely something against human or undead, I would say.
your building.
Maybe against elf if you're going into hunts, like bottom hunts. Maybe this could be valuable there.
Your building is complete.
But yeah, apart from that, key things to note is obviously nighttime, use of Shadowmeld, etc.
Insufficient gold.
I believe this works because when the archers are Shadowmelded next to Ancient War, the ogre thinks it can get out because it can't see the archers, and so it ends up just traveling the whole time. It doesn't actually attack your Ancient War. I believe if the ogre thinks it can get out, or thinks it can't get out, like it's blocked or whatever, like let's say there's just buildings all around blocking it in, it would then start attacking the buildings, right? But because it thinks it can get out, since it can't see the archers here, it actually ends up just walking back and forth and getting smacked by the Ancient War. The aggro of the creeps also do not come over to help him. Like the ogre is just here by itself if done properly. Now you do have to be careful. If you have wisps or hero here in range, I think the creeps will actually see that and they will come over to help, which is bad because it could get heal, it could get inner fire, it could get bloodlust, etc. And then other key things to note for this side, well, for both sides, you want this archer hidden here, and then this archer pulls, goes all the way through, and then hides on the other side. However, when you do this, when you get to the other side here, you don't actually want to hide right away. You want to make sure the ogre is in here, potentially even smacking this once, and then move this over. Because if you move it too soon, the ogre may only be here and it'll switch targets and not actually be able to get surrounded anymore because it'll just be attacking this archer, which is bad. So you need to be patient, wait for it to get in the proper position, then move this over, make sure both are hidden, and then you can just kind of leave it until it's time to get the last hit. So I will now execute the strategy on both sides. Like I said, key is to make sure they're hidden. So I'll just do it like this. Okay, then we go for the pull. And you want to make sure to not go too far. And you just hide. And then once you're hidden, like I said, the ogre is then just going to get smacked. And is going to keep getting smacked until, you know, it's dead. And then you ideally come in with your hero to last hit, or maybe the archers. You can queue up an archer to prevent the Ancient War from denying. And you can do it from this side as well. This side is a little bit riskier. Like I said, you do probably want 3 archers on this side, and there's a chance your Ancient War gets blocked by this critter, meaning you can't even place it here until you like kill that critter, which is awkward, or the critter moves. Yeah, we'll show this side as well. You can pull, go into here, be patient, wait for the ogre to get there, and then move over and hide everything. And once they're all hidden, the ogre's just going to keep getting smacked. You could potentially have units here attacking. I'm not sure if that would keep aggroing these if they're on this side and far away, but this method just seems safer and not too much of a problem. And like I said, when it gets close, it should be around 30 something health. You can like queue up an archer, come in and mana burn it, or whatever you have. Grab your item and suddenly, you know, Pipe of Insight and 152 XP, which is obviously very valuable. But like I said, this strategy would generally be used as a second Ancient War rather than your first Ancient War. So you have to be in some sort of build where you're willing to afford a second Ancient War in the first place. And you do still need to make sure you come over for the last hit at some point. And it needs to be done during the nighttime, ideally at the start of night, so you have plenty of time to, you know, whack it down with the Ancient War. And then you come up here, and look, clause 12. But yeah, you can end up with some pretty nice items. Clause 12, Helm of Valor in particular, like if you're playing Demon Hunter, for instance, like Helm of Valor, Medallion of Courage maybe for like Warden or something, Pipe of Insight for like Warden or whatever. Cloak of Flames can be pretty cool potentially, but you're also potentially already playing Immolation, so you know. Anyways, that's how it's done. And I think I showed the positioning earlier, but I'll show it again. I use this positioning, so I just line it up to here and then 1 square over. Ancient War can also be placed up here if you prefer, or somewhere else. This is where I prefer it, using 3 archers on this side. And on this side, same thing. I line it up with here and 1 square over. But you can also move this one closer a couple squares if you prefer. I like my farther away position where it still gets trapped just fine, because then you're also farther away from the creeps. You don't have to worry as much about them like aggroing, etc. This creep route is definitely very punishable by the enemy if they scout it, but particularly right at this moment where it's more of an unknown, people don't necessarily know this even exists, right? There's a good chance you can get away with it and, you know, get some good XP, get some good items. Like I said, you get like, I think it's like 152 XP or something. Apparently it's like less when you level up. Pretty sure the first one gave like 152 XP. Obviously it's harder to look at it now because it's at like an odd number of an odd XP, even though I've only got 2 unit kills. But yeah. And that's how it's done. So, you know, if you like this, try it out. Like the video, whatever, as well. If you appreciate these sort of videos, I might show other fancy tricks as well for Warcraft 3. But I figured I'd show this one just because it's kind of an unknown right now, and might be something I incorporate myself in future games.
At last.